Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, I just watched another gay movie in my little gay movie marathon. This one, it's not really a gay movie, but something that happened when you were gay in the like 90s and so forth was there weren't a lot of gay movies. There were very few. So if you found a character in a TV show or a movie that was gay, it became a gay movie and you watched it and, you know, got put in with all the others. And this film was called Friends and Lovers. It was released in 1998 and it only has one gay character, possibly two. But he was played by Danny Nucci. I love Danny Nucci. I had the biggest crush on Danny Nucci for so many years. He, if you don't know who he is, he played Jack's friend in Titanic, Fabricio, the one who gets crushed by the smokestack, which I watched that film a bunch of times and I always closed my eyes every time. I couldn't watch. Then years later I watched it on DVD and realised you don't actually see it hit him or anything. I basically bought this film because I read Danny Nucci's credits in the back. I didn't know he was playing a gay character, and then I watched it and I'm like, oh my god, he's gay. But it takes a while to realise because he's not really open and he's quite not closeted, but he's a virgin, so he's not really in the closet, but he's sort of hasn't really embraced his gayness and his sexuality. And in this film, I guess I'll just talk about the gay character. It's basically a bunch of people go away to a ski lodge that is owned by one of the friends. It's a bunch of 20-something friends who all work somewhere together at some point. And his father owns the place and they're all going there and they're trying to get him to reconcile. They don't think he's going to show up because his mother's died and his father and him weren't close and they've had trouble ever since then. And that's their story, which is all complicated. And there's another guy, one of the Baldwins, Stephen Baldwin, I think, the youngest. Well, I always found him very sexy, but in a kind of creepy, ugly sort of way. In this movie, he's blonde. I can't remember if he's really blonde because it looks really bleached. He's got those blue eyes, and he's trying to hook up with I think Claudia Schiffer or whatever, the model who's got a small role in this. She's not a good actress, but she's pretty, and that's all she has to be in the film. Really, that's kind of the point. She's just there because she's pretty, and that's all he wants her for. It looks that way. There's another girl who's pregnant, and her brother's there as well. I don't remember all the characters. Either way, they all just end up with someone by the end of it. But Danny Nucci, he's a virgin. They're making light fun of him for it, and they're talking to him in like this cafe or something at the ski resort, and they're like, "Why don't you just go talk to someone? Just approach someone." They're like, "What's the worst that could happen?" He's like, he's got 10 friends that'll beat me up, and like, okay, but just go talk to someone. So he looks at this guy at the counter, cute black guy, and he's like, he wants to talk to him, but he doesn't. He's scared to, and they're like, just do it. They force him to. He goes over, stands next to him, smiles. He smiles back, smiles again. He smiles back, and then he gets up and leaves. And he's like, okay, damn, And then they're like forcing him to chase after him. He goes into the bathroom, and they're like, talk to him there, and he's like, what? And I'm like, he could get beaten up. He really could get beaten up. Eventually he goes to the sinks and talks to him. He notices some sort of chess symbol or something. He gets something from a symbol that means chess. He said, do you like chess? He said, yeah. He's like a huge chess player, and so is he. He's really good. He's like, yeah, basically, nobody beats me sort of thing. And they're like, oh, really? So they end up talking about that, and he invites him back to the ski lodge or whatever it is. And eventually they're playing chess, and he invites him outside, and they're like, look, go ask him to help you hang the mistletoe, see what happens. So they're hanging the mistletoe because he's really tall. And he just asks him, are you a single gay man? And he says, no. And it's like, oh, damn. But they come in, they're like, we're friends, okay? Like, we're friends. And they're like, okay. And they keep playing chess and hanging out and that. And then later on, they're just talking. He said, so what's it like to be with a guy? Like, what do you do with guys? And he's like, I don't know. Like, he's sort of hiding the fact that he's a virgin. And then later the guy said, what's it like to kiss a guy? And he said, what's it like to kiss a girl? And he said, you don't know? He said, nah. And then he kisses him, and he says, kissing a girl is softer. And I'm like, oh, is this going somewhere? Like, okay, he said he wasn't a single gay man. Was he a gay man for boyfriend? Is he bisexual? What's happening here? Now, later in the film, you don't see much more of that. And then right at the end of the film, there's an emergency. Because the guy who's the father, he can't cook. He keeps burning things. And the smoke alarm goes off, and everyone, like, runs out of their rooms. and you see Danny Nucci, who's pretty much fully dressed, and the black guy with his shirt off. And I'm like, oh, what happened there? No one really says anything. Then the film kind of ends. There's a whole bunch of dramas, but they all mostly resolve them. A few people end up with different people. I don't want to give it all away, but it's all about the gay character for me, and considering it's a gay film because there's a gay character in it. But what kind of surprised me was I kept looking at the black guy thinking, not only is he hot, but he looks familiar. And I Googled him. His name is Leon. His name is Leon Robinson. He does have a last name, but he just went by Leon. He was the black guy in Madonna's Like a Prayer video. When I was a kid, I thought it was Carlton because he was in the Blonde Ambition tour like the next year. I figured that he just got that job because he was in the video. I thought it was him for years until I was watching the video one day. I'm like, that's not Carlton. But I never knew who it was because unlike movies and TV shows, you don't get credits with music videos. But I finally found out who he is. I Googled him and he's been in a lot of things. He's in Waiting to Exhale and Cool Runnings and Above the Rim and Oz and LA Law and all these things, and he had a musical career. He had a couple of albums with, I think the band was called Leon and the Peoples. He had like 2 hits on the Billboard charts and did a lot of tours and theatre and everything. And it's really interesting to realise that that's the saint from Madonna's Like a Prayer video, and he actually has a name. The saint actually has a name, which I never thought he had a name. I'd never thought he was based on a real saint because I didn't think there'd be any black saints in Catholicism, so they must have just cast that saint as black, even though he was probably originally white. Saint de Porres, Saint Martin de Porres. I think that's how you say it. So now I want to Google him and find out who he was. But that was all really interesting to me, and I just wanted to share that. No, I'm reviewing all the films for the fun of it, but also just for Madonna fans. Yeah, that's him. And yeah, I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. If you've seen the film, let me know. Because a lot of these little films that, like I said, have gay characters in it that kind of get considered gay films by some people aren't really gay films, and a lot of people don't look at them that way. Now, it made $33,000 at the box office, so it wasn't a big hit. I mean, other people are in it, like Stephen Baldwin, and Robert Downey Jr. has a role in it, playing a Jersey boy who's pretending to be, I think, a Belgian ski instructor to try and get Claudia Schiffer. Yeah, so that was interesting. Seeing him play this ridiculous character, and then you find out he's actually playing a character in the film that he's actually that the woman is falling for. It is Claudia Schiffer, yeah, the model. Okay, so I'm going to go and Google this saint and see if he's a real saint and why Madonna picked him. Because a lot of people refer to him as Black Jesus and a black saint. I knew he was a saint, he wasn't Jesus, but I never knew who he was. And now, I don't know why I didn't try and search for it in the past, but I guess I haven't done a review of Like a Prayer, so I didn't think about it too much. But now I am.